Hi, it's Juris and welcome to Tattoo Shop Talk. And today we will take a look at new tattoo machine from Emalla, the Emalla Grand G4. And let's do our usual, its ups, its downs, and who this tattoo machine might be for. Let's start from the most important one, price. It comes in at $549 US, and it's available in 3 different stroke lengths: 5mm, 4.2mm, and 3.5mm strokes. Let's start with unboxing. It's already unboxed, of course, but this unboxing is relatively nice experience. It slides off really smooth, and then we have some paperwork, and I also got some stickers. I don't know if all comes with stickers. I guess it does. There's a business cards and QR codes for more information right there. Now we have this situation going on, and it unpacks, and everything in there is stacked nicely. You can see there's the shapes. In here we have machine itself. Let's switch it on so it's more colorful. Then you have extra battery. Boom, that's the situation there. Then we have converter to RCA, which is this thing, and extra grip. So it comes with 2 different grip sizes. I haven't tried the thinner one because who cares about thinner one if you have the bigger, heavier grip. Underneath here we open it up, and there's a little box with some weight to it. And in here we have USB-C charging cable, RCA cable, and a bunch of like gasket type of things to replace. When company reached out to me, I didn't read much into manuals. They just said that we now have machines with fixed strokes, and I had options to choose one, and I wanted to compare how 4.2mm stroke compares, let's say, to something like Bishop one. That's the most used Bishop one that I have, and therefore I chose 4.2mm stroke because I thought 5 is a bit more specific, a bit more on the far end of the long strokes. And when I got this tattoo machine, I started to look into it, and there's more to it. Let's start with looks and feels. Feels nice in the hand, especially with heavier grip. I actually haven't tried the thinner one. You can hear it's this clicky grip mechanism. Let's try the thinner one. Then it's this more slim look, but I prefer that. Still feels nice in hand. I would probably just bulk it up with some paper towels. So we have a machine with the screen, and on stroke lengths, how to tell them apart, it's this part in the middle. If you have multiple machines, then 5.0 stroke would be with the silver part in here, 4.2mm stroke is blue, and 3.5mm stroke is with black bit in here. And when I first switched it on, I found that there's a lot of interesting things just in the controls of the machine. Machine looks like this, and then it has buttons on the sides, so that would be on-off button on there. Switch it on, switch it off, switch it on again, click it, it works, stop it. On the other side there are buttons for the voltage, and then the interesting part starts. This machine also have a kickstart if you do use it, so you press voltage down and run button at the same time. Boom, and there's a little Emalla logo. Now it's switched off, it's in white color, and we press it again, and it switched to blue. That means that kickstart is on. Voltage up and down, and there's this button up here. First I got a bit spooked because I pressed it by accident. I thought like I did some first setup and it baked it in, but if you are, let's say, left-handed, you just double tap it and screen jumps to the opposite position. Double tap it again, boom boom, which is cool. One feature that is sort of unnecessary, but some people will appreciate it. If you hold that button for a bit longer, then screen starts to blink, and now you can click through different colors and customize the font color. I'll stick with a blue because that fits the aesthetics of the tattoo machine. I prefer that it matches this part, but some people are into pinks and yellows and whatnot colors, so you have that option, which is kind of unnecessary, but we have it. So let's put it that towards the downside, but it's not really a downside. And where the fun part starts is this machine have modes. So there's now M1 on the corner. If you see I double tap it, it goes to M2 and M3. So I can, by double tapping, circle through the modes. From description and from what I feel is working with it, it's just softer modes. I guess that's the future now. Machines will have modes. I think this year will be machines with modes. Not talking only about this tattoo machine, Cheyenne had it, and most likely a lot of generic brands gonna pop up with these options on the controls. M1 is sort of the straightforward mode, M2 is a bit softer, which sort of made me regret a little bit that I didn't take 5.0mm stroke, because you have a longest possible stroke, and then you have options to soften it down. And M3 is a bit funky mode, and you see like M1, M2, and on M3 at the bottom appears sort of like a power line type of a thing. That's where you can adjust hertz or speed, same thing. So now it's at 6.4 volts. I'll run it. You can hear it's running, and now I press this button once, the mode button, and the line underneath starts to blink, and then with voltage I can sort of turn it down or up, and it would be still at 6.4 volts, but speed would change. Realistically, I didn't feel much difference, so like if I have it on 10 hertz, now it starts blinking, and I put the voltage up, speed doesn't change at all. And I don't think it's that much powerful at like 12 than it is on 5. 13, you can run it up to 13. Now it's 10 hertz, like let's do 35. You can hear it's running, but if I go over my skin, for example, and I turn it down to 5, I don't feel much difference. There is a little bit difference in the sound, you can check. So now it's at 5 volts and 35 hertz. It feels like there's a bit of change in the pitch, but not by much. But still, that option is there, and it says in instructions, M1 mode is 100% hard for liner and hard areas on skin. M2 mode 85% soft for shader and soft areas on skin. M3 mode 10 to 100% soft, named E-soft, which can adjust power of soft. As you open it, you switch it on, you have instructions. They are like not fully clear, but once you get into it, you can understand what is meant to be what. And main part you have to pay attention to is this part, or you just watch this video so you basically know what's up. The thing that spooked me, flipping over the screen, mode's pretty straightforward, double click it, and then it took me a while to figure out how to adjust softness of the M3 soft mode or E-soft mode, but that's just by clicking this button once. And then it starts to blink underneath, and then with voltage buttons you can adjust hertz, and then you wait a little bit until it stops blinking, and then you can adjust voltage while it's set on a hertz. Also, I guess because it's described as hertz, I would say it's probably meant to be one of those speed and torque type of things. When you switch to M3 mode, it shows hertz. When you switch to M1 or M2, it shows CPS. Now at 5.3 volts, it would be 48 CPS. You switch to M2, it's 5.5, 50 CPS, and switch to M3, it switched to 13 volts and 63 hertz. Let's say you work on M1 at 100% hardness, and you work at like, let's say 6 volts, and then M2, you maybe need a bit faster but softer. You can set it up at say 8 volts, so mode would be softer, and it remembers the voltage. So now when you flick through, you can see that it's like a preset, which each mode have its own voltage, which I think is pretty useful and pretty cool. When you work, you don't have to think about it. If you have your way to work, you do lines at 1 speed, switch the needle, bam bam, switch to different mode, it remembers the voltage, and then you can adjust or micromanage. I have worked with this tattoo machine with nothing too crazy. I worked with like 3 buck pin needles up to something like 9 or 11 round shaders, and it did fine. And for magnums, the regular 7 to 15, it also works fine. I have not tried anything bigger because I just haven't had a chance. With these 4.2mm machines, I'm very careful with thinner needles like 3 buck pins, but because there is the soft mode, that made me feel a bit more comfortable. I just had a smaller needle. I dialed it down voltage, M2, and it did fine with 3 liners, which is already not my comfort zone in general. On that note, this tattoo machine runs up to 13 volts, but the lowest setting is 5. And I would prefer for it to go slower, like 4.5, 4 volts, because then you can do like these whippy dotty looking shadings. 5 volts, and now let's run it. It's slow enough, but if it would be even slower, I would enjoy that option would be there, because I wanted to compare it to Bishop Wand. With the battery pack, you can run it at 4.5 volts, and with some battery packs even lower. So this doesn't have that option. Therefore, I cannot compare, but I would say it's not really like 4.2mm stroke. Bishop Wand feels kind of a bit more oomph, a bit more power, maybe at lower voltage. It's close, but I wouldn't put it in the same basket. And again, looking at the price, $549 minus some discounts, 2 batteries included, 2 grips included. Can't go wrong with it. Now I would like to show you how I pack it. And there comes in handy my favorite thing, the sticky plastic rolls. So we take one bit, boom, and put it around here at the top where the controls are. With a thinner grip you can just slide clipboard sleeve over and it's fine. Now I put it almost to the side of the grip, put the other side, and now it fits almost perfect, but there's a little gap. And now for it to be able to adjust needle length here, I would take a masking tape, roughly piece like that, fold a bit over with leaving a little bit of sticky part exposed. And then we take that and put it on a very side, on a grip side, like that. And the idea is that it's stuck here, but this part is still able to move. So we can adjust needle length here. And then I would put some paper towel and a grip tape. There you go, that's your wrapped machine, and you can still adjust needle length. You can also adjust top part, but when it's wrapped it's obviously fixed in place. I had a situation where I packed it a bit funky, and then when I wanted to adjust needle length, instead of moving that part I was actually moving top part. So you can move this part and it also clicks. I was sort of trying to adjust needle length and you hear the click, but you're like, why the needle is not changing? And then I realized that I'm clicking this part instead of this part. On a sort of downsides, when packed I struggle to find buttons. They're really small, so I wish they would be a bit bigger, so when packed you can easily find them. With the gloves on, and if they are a bit slippery, sometimes it's hard to find where the button is exactly, so it takes a bit of like, where is it? Not a big deal, but I wish buttons would be a bit bigger. A little thing, but kind of cool, when you look at the screen, it's like bent, like it's shaped. I think that screen adds to aesthetics of the tattoo machine. It's sort of steampunkish, old school television lens type of a thing. These days it's really hard to find bad tattoo machine. This is definitely good one. Ups of tattoo machine. Feels nice in hand, works fine. You have an option to soften it up, which I think will be a theme of this year, if not more. So we have set stroke length and options to soften it up and then play with hertz. That third option I really haven't figured it out. I think it's something that you fine-tune your own sort of perfect option and then you stick to that. And it's nice that the option is there. User interface, super friendly, super easy to understand. Everything happens with a combination of buttons, double clicks of buttons. Perfect. It works for right-handed, left-handed. You can customize colors on the screen, which is whatever, but the option is there. The downsides that are not really a downside, that's just me whining. Buttons could have been a bit bigger, voltage could have gone a little bit more down. And as for when buying it, you can buy certain stroke length and that's it. You don't have options. You buy this stroke, this stroke, this stroke, and it comes with 2 grips and 2 batteries. And I think they should make an option to buy just the part which controls the stroke, which is this part, because imagine you bought one for $5.49 and you have your tattoo machine and you're like, I want to try different stroke, and you have to buy all set with, again, 2 batteries, which is plenty. You get this stuff, which most probably not gonna use, and you have extra grips. And it would be nice if you could just buy this part so you don't have to spend, again, $1,000, but let's say 200, or I don't know, whatever the appropriate price would be, because you already have batteries and rest of the stuff. Obviously companies need to make money and they sell however they want to sell. I just think that it would be a nice option. And at the end of the day, it's not the most expensive tattoo machines. Not the cheapest ones as well, but Emalla works on their branding. You know, they have their pro teams and all that good stuff. They have to keep prices at certain level. And who this tattoo machine might be for? Pretty much for anyone. I think the 5mm would be even better option for sort of strong lining type of stuff, dot work. And if you can soften it down to, let's say, 4.2, then packing 4.2 stroke is kind of like a middle range. And if you do really soft stuff, then 3.5. with options to soften it down even more. And I would say if you already have some tattoo machine which is like 3.5mm stroke or 4 or whatever, and you want to try, let's say, 5mm, you don't want to invest like $1,000 in a high-end tattoo machine. You can get this one, and it gives you a bit of wiggle room. If it's like too strong for you, you can still dial it down, or like a backup machine. Always good option, but also a main machine. It's really nice to pack, really nice to work with. So if you think it's in your price range, I think you'll try it and you're not gonna regret it. And if you will, you'll sell it. And now you share your thoughts on these tattoo machines with modes, which I think will be theme of next year, if not several. Is that a good idea? Is that not so great idea? If you have tried this tattoo machine, leave your thoughts on it. Check our video description. If you use our affiliate links when shopping for tattoo products, then thank you very much. We also have membership now, and that's another way to support channel, and you get a little bit extras. That part haven't picked up yet. Hopefully it will with time, and we see we'll add extra sort of perks. Leave your comments, press likes. If you're super awesome, then share this video. You can also check playlists in video descriptions, and I'll see you in the future episodes. Thank you for watching. Stay safe. Bye.